What is your first splurge going to be once you become an attending? So this person says a dinner at the French Laundry, which is this very extravagant, expensive restaurant in Northern California. I believe it's like $250 per person. This person got an 83-inch TV, a patio set, and a grill. Plus, my wife and I took a trip to Mexico at an all-inclusive. She had also just finished chemo a few months before, so I firmly got off the delayed gratification train. That's definitely a rough series of events, but it sounds like things are going well. I will say that a lot of the big advice that you will see is that after you become an attending, you should continue to live like a resident. That's the advice that was put forth by the white coat investor. And really, it's just showing that, lifestyle creep does happen after people become attendings and they start to spend a lot more. They get themselves into more debt and they buy expensive things and they don't pay down their existing debt. So really, the first 3 to 4 years after residency finishes, they suggest you continue to live like a resident. Your previous living accommodation, don't upgrade your car, don't go on really expensive trips. But this person, obviously, clearly, this does not apply to them because he firmly got off the delayed gratification train because his wife just got off chemo. So I think that is definitely the right decision for him in this scenario. But I will say, in general, regarding this thread, be aware that even though we are making these splurges after becoming attending, ideally, we probably should be living like residents still. Did you enjoy the Mexican resort trip? Yeah, it's great as long as you know what you want out of the trip. We wanted pool days with constant drinks and no stress. So it worked out great for that. It's not a cultural experience. The food is good, but not amazing. I've kind of, wanted to get back into traveling. I haven't traveled in like over a decade, probably, to any meaningful, cultural experience where it's just me and my wife just kind of checking things out and exploring. Because usually on our vacations, we spend it with family. And part of me does want a vacation where it is just like truly relaxing and we're not like booking all these different cultural experiences and stuff. But then part of me also does want to get back into doing those more interesting, trips where you're actually going to see lots of landmarks and historical things. I've been getting really into these historical YouTube channels recently. I really am a big sucker for a lot of those things. So I do kind of want to go and visit some of these places at some point. But yeah, I think my most immediate goal after residency would be to take more of that resort trip where you're just at the pool the whole time, at least for the first year or so, probably. Fender Stratocaster American Ultra. Oh, sounds like a guitar. House, but a nice hot tub was the actual splurge because it's not necessary. Haven't made it to attending yet, but probably a hair transplant if I'm being completely honest. Probably a watch for my dad and father-in-law too. Lasik. I held off for a while due to concerns about chronic side effects since I already have dry eyes from hypothyroidism, but finally followed through after talking to my optometrist about it extensively and seeing some colleagues with good experiences. I lucked out with no lasting side effects, and it's been life-changing in so many ways. So I have had some vision problems for quite a long time now. I have all these ghosting effects and these higher order aberrations on my cornea. And I've been considering LASIK for a while now, especially after my hard contact stopped working about a year ago. And I have been very, very afraid to do it as well, because I've heard that there's lasting dry eye and, some people don't get as good of visual acuity as they might like. I'm somebody who my eyes are very, very picky. And if there's just a slight decrease in the visual acuity, I feel like it bothers me so much. And it's really annoying and I don't like that. But I am curious to hear if any of you guys have had good experiences with LASIK. Really, everybody I've talked to in person who has gone through it has had good experiences. But you do hear about those horror stories where, your vision is such an important sense and, having any damage to it or, losing part of it or having some complication that's permanent is very, very life altering as well. But yeah, this is definitely a high on the priority kind of things to consider, but things that I'm not considering yet at this time. As someone who couldn't wear contacts for long periods of time and who would constantly sit on / lose their glasses, LASIK was the best large chunk of money I've ever spent. Cost just over $3,000 total, no side effects, and has given me 20/20 vision for the past 15 years. Absolutely love it. What's the word on side effects and bad results these days? What really made you decide benefits are greater than risk? I don't understand how the benefits would in any way outweigh the potential risk. Benefit equals no need for lenses. Risk equals chronic dry eye and pain. I have terrible, terrible eyes, double astigmatism, and extremely nearsighted, and don't see any value in it. The only times I wish I didn't need glasses are when I'm playing contact sports or swimming. Honestly, a couch, LOL. It was an expensive couch. And yeah, furniture is extremely expensive. And my wife and I just recently purchased a home, which we will move into at some point in the next few months. There's going to be a lot of expenses coming out soon to just fill the house with furniture. And I'm kind of dreading going through that process and just seeing how expensive furniture is in general. Steam Deck, the higher end model. I actually don't really know what the Steam Deck does. I'm been so out of the gaming world at this point that I've never really understood it. Although I never really played that many other games anyways. I mainly stuck to the Counter-Strike, Valorant, and StarCraft. So in my family, we have a tradition of giving our first paycheck to our parents to thank them for all the help that they have given us. As my parents have paid for my education and med school, I truly did owe them quite a lot. With my first paycheck, technically first 3 paychecks given how much I paid, I got my mother and sister some very nice pieces of jewelry and my dad a very nice watch. Giving those gifts for Christmas was the happiest I've ever seen my parents. Got it on video too. I could definitely see the parents being super happy in that scenario because it's like, the kid has finally made it and now they are paying you back for the first time. It's just like the culmination of all those years of hard work and supporting your kid through everything, and then finally they're paying it back. That's got to be a great feeling. Airline tickets to Japan and tickets to a baseball game. That sounds fun. A new gaming computer. Last build was 8+ years old and splurged for 4090 GPU. This is probably something that I'm going to need to upgrade at some point, especially because A, I potentially might want to start back into gaming at some point. And B, I've been doing a lot of video editing these days. I need a new computer that can handle this. This has been like probably 5 or 6 years since I've really updated this computer. And so it's working for now, but and it's still pretty good, to be honest, based on the my use case. But I do want to get an upgrade at some point as well. And I do want to play higher end games and also turn up the graphics too, because I've never played on high graphics before. I've always played on like the lowest possible graphics because I've always wanted to get the most performance possible when I'm playing my competitive games. So I don't know how urgently I'm going to get a new computer, but it is something that I do want to get at some. Trust me, as a former PC gamer, you won't be PC gaming long in radiology. Last thing I want to do after a long day working is going home and sitting in front of a computer again. I do, however, love sitting on my couch and playing my PS5 on my 65-inch OLED TV, which was my splurge. Nice. What are you playing on that beast? Minecraft? What's funny is this is exactly what I'd do if I were to buy a 4090. First thing was a gently used luxury car. I like that idea. I do want a nicer car at some point. I'm driving a 2002 Toyota Sienna, which has been very reliable and has served me very well and still holding up great. But I do think at some point I do need to upgrade my car. But getting a used one would really make that sticker price a lot nicer. Again, it's probably not going to be one of my top priorities because this minivan is still working fine. But at some point, I do want some of those cars. They've got all this like auto steering, whatever, that even if it's not a Tesla, they can basically do advanced cruise control, which is super helpful for stop and go traffic, especially. Pre-facelift W212 AMG E63 in diamond white. No regrets. I'm not sure if this is jewelry, a car, or a gun. I totally agree. I believe AMG is an automotive manufacturer. I'm not sure if a gun would come in diamond white, but it's certainly possible. 80-inch OLED TV, sound system, and a new grille. All have made my quality of life go way up, and I regret nothing. Yeah, at this point, I'm starting to think that I need to upgrade to an OLED TV. Everybody's like raving about these. And also I need to upgrade. I need to get a DDR pad. I guess there's a lot of things that I want to get, but it's probably going to have to be an iterative process because I'm not going to be able to buy all this stuff right away, considering how much money we have to spend on furniture and stuff. Anyways, I'm curious to hear what your first splurge is going to be as an attending. What would you spend that money on? And let me know down in the comments below if you have any suggestions for interesting ideas to use that first attending paycheck money. Looking forward to hearing your responses. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.